You're welcome back to another episode of Horror Never Dies. This is episode 8, The Horror of the Real World. Sorry for the slight delay. Um, yeah, just been moving around. But I appreciate everybody that's popping in. If you're just catching this on the replay or you're just catching this live, let me let my homie Rashad in. Yo,
You
what's good? What's good?
shit, same shit, different toilet, man. Can't call it.
Yeah, just another night. I'm fucking tired. I'll just be tired on Saturdays.
You sound like it, man. Yeah, it sound like you done had a long ass day.
A long ass weekend.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
just all this content I had to get to and just my sleep patterns been all fucked up. But it's all good.
yeah. Nah, dog. You like a machine, bro. Like, I mean, I'll be wanting to put out a lot of content, man. But I get busy with work and shit, and daddy duties, and I try to squeeze in a video when I can, man. But you be on it, bro. You be popping them
I'm
videos out
trying.
like fucking kittens and shit, man.
I be trying. I was just bored at work. I put out two like Goosebumps related videos. Speaking of which, like I said before we get into the main shit and whatnot, like the horrors of the real world, it's kind of like something random I came up with. I
hmm
don't know how it's gonna go. It's as far as like what that means is like has have you ever had like a supernatural experience or just a weird ass experience or any stories, but we'll say that for later. But to kind of go over some of the things I've been watching lately, since we are in Perktober, I've been watching a lot of interesting shows and only like really two movies. Nothing in theaters though, surprisingly. It's like probably like the first week I didn't go to the theaters and shit. I was supposed to go see X, but I was just like, I was just so beat at the time. So I was like, I'll just wait till Monday because I think they're playing it again on Monday or something like that.
Right.
So,
Oh, I forgot
um,
about Suburban Screams. I gotta get on that ASAP.
I just finished that. I was going to record my review, but I was just like, you know what? I don't even got it in me right now, so I'm just gonna do this stream and probably do it later. Um, but yeah, Fall of the House of Usher. That was really dope. As far as the TV side of things, I feel like that's the strongest. The weakest up in here is Goosebumps, and I'll get into why because I've been ranting about that. I
Mm.
ranted about it in my review. I ranted about like two other videos. So it's like, I got into an argument with a motherfucker on TikTok over this shit. I don't know why I entertain that shit. Sometimes I gotta ignore that shit. But then it's kind of cut off here. But Good Night World is a new like anime if you're into like AI virtual reality type of concepts and stuff. I still got like 3 episodes left on that. Creep Show, I'm like halfway through season 4, but I'm not too sure if I want to review that.
Mm.
Suburban Screams, I finished that. That's only 6 episodes long, but I'll say this: I only like 3 out of the 6. So,
Oh wow.
um, but I have some thoughts about that. Dark Harvest, really fucking dope movie that was on VOD. It's essentially like Hunger Games meets like The Outsiders,
Oh.
and and then like there's a scarecrow creature that's involved too. That's really fucking dope. The Puppet Man, really dope. Really dope. Kind of, I guess you would call it possession,
Mm.
but it's done in a really unique way as well. Where like you'll have some characters just like have no control over their bodies and somebody else is controlling them, making them do things to themselves, either throwing themselves over off a building, stuff like that. What up, Zach? What up, Samuel?
Yeah,
Yeah, so like
I
this
just
is stuff I've been kind of watching lately.
I just started the Fall of the House of Usher today. Actually, I just started it, and
Yeah,
I got 3 episodes in, and then I had to go to work, and I cannot wait to get back to it, man. That shit is fire so far, bro.
yeah. That shit, like,
Fire.
yeah, and I forgot that that's Mike Flanagan's last show with Netflix. I was like, yeah, way to go out with a bang. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's definitely it might be mixed with some people, but you know, I feel like it's pretty damn fucking strong. Like I like the tone of it, the characters. If anybody's ever seen Succession, it definitely gives off that kind of vibes.
Right.
Um, and just the way that they're telling the story and just all the little attention to details and just the whole Edgar Allan Poe kind of feel to it, and you know, it's very much pulling from that a lot, and just the performance all around is just like are just like really A1 to me, and a lot of the different kills that you see with each
Mhm.
episode is really dope, and just a unique way to tell like a story, even though it's like really risky telling like the end, like pretty much the ending or just
Mhm.
whatever already happens in the beginning, and seeing how it kind of plays out, and the execution and all that is really dope.
Yeah, kind of like the usual suspects, you know, like it tells you like the outcome of what happened. Now it's like leading up to that, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, just so many. It's like, you know, it's like it's a thriller, mystery, haunted house type shit, and then you forget that you're watching a horror show. Like I said, I'm only 3 episodes in, so you're much further than me. But like sometimes I'll be forgetting it's a horror show because I'm just so engaged in the characters and the writing. And then boom,
Yeah.
it reminds you real quick. You watching a horror show.
Yeah, yeah, and it's funny at times too. It's really funny.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
too like silly or anything. It's just really witty. Like certain characters, like
Hmm.
just the just the sibling rivalry and stuff like that is really interesting to
Right.
see. Like that, like none of them really get along with each other like that. So and just like the whole family dynamic is really cool. I really like that first episode where the mom comes out the grave and shit. I was like, whoa,
Yeah,
and just
yeah.
and kills her boss and shit. That was crazy. I was like, yeah, that's the last thing she did before she, you know, croaked. That was
Hmm.
crazy.
Oh yeah, that second episode too was like that. That ended like, you know, at I would it kind of put me in the mind of the first Blade. Like remember how the first Blade
Oh
opened
yeah,
up?
yeah, yeah.
You know the
Or even was it the collector or the collection, whatever, with the party where he like chopped all
Mhm.
them up and shit. But that was
Yeah,
pretty.
yeah.
That was a gnarly ass way to go though, man. Just all those people, and old girl got caught up in the crossfires, and
I
she
know.
told him like, oh, you don't need to be here. You
Right,
don't need to
right.
be here. Like, you know, saying that shit's fire. Um, but like I said, the weakest shit here was Goosebumps, man. That shit, man.
Of course, it's Disney. What do you expect? Disney Plus.
And I just see so much cat for that. I was like, okay, of course, you know, Disney gonna give you a little care package. They'll send you something so you can't shit on it. But like, don't send me nothing because I'll still shit on you. I'll still shit on it because it's like, man, I really wanted to be wrong about that shit because that's the only reason I watched it. I've never struggled to get through like five. They only put out the first 5 episodes.
Wow.
Um, and they still got another five, but that's gonna be weekly and stuff like that. But like, I never struggled so hard to get through a fucking show like that. I'm just like, bro, I literally I pulled a Rashad there. Like I literally by the time I got to the fourth episode, I started dozing the fuck off and realized, holy shit, I just slept through this whole damn thing, and I was like, I got to run some of four back and then watch five again. I was just like, man, I can't with this, and just I'm more disappointed just because it's like Goosebumps is such a beloved IP,
Hmm.
and it's just like I don't know how you could fuck that up. You know what I'm saying? And like I got into a back and forth with somebody said like, "Oh, I really liked how they did. I think if you wanted a corny cheesy, well, that corny cheesy shit in the '90s was way better and thought out than this shit, and just
Right.
it felt just so CW ish, and I was just like, I don't know who the fuck this is for. Um, and just how they handled the haunted mask really pissed me off. So I know you've never watched it, but I got some pictures. Um, this right here is on the left. That's the cover of the haunted mask. The
Yeah, I remember
like
that
one of the
book.
good,
Yeah.
and then you got the '95 joint with the mask, and then the shit below it is the mask that they have for Disney.
Oh
But
wow.
that mask transforms, which a lot of people were speculating. But what it transforms into is it's a CGI fucking mess. It's like one of the worst CGI transformations you'll ever fucking see. Like I was just like, and the fact that you had like a 40-minute, 45-minute episode, and you barely show anything, and like they kind of just rush through the whole storyline. Now I could get it if there was like, oh, she got the mask, and it was going to be kind of like a arc that was going to go on with the first like kind of season throughout
Yeah.
different episodes. But no, they like kind of like she gets the mask and pretty much solves everything, resolves everything by the like the end of it and shit. And it's like pretty much if you were to just take her scenes out, it's like 10 minutes, if that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just really disappointing.
Wow.
What up, Terrence?
Well, look, these days, man, Disney will fuck up a wet dream, man. And they talking about going up on the price, and they putting out shit content all year. Like, bro, this is a bad time to start jacking your prices up, and you're not putting out good product. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Terrence, tell me what nightmare. Just please don't let it be inappropriate. But yeah, I was just so disappointed. I made a couple of videos. Like the one video I made was what the new Are You Afraid of the Dark
mm-hmm.
series, because Nickelodeon came out with their revival series of that, and that's another '90s beloved. Like that's like a lot of like what a lot of '90s kids like their first introduction to horror and stuff, and they did a better job because like they still stuck to the anthology where it's like kind of like American Horror Story, where each season
Right.
is a different story, but they're able to tell newer stories, but also bring in some of the older stories that were told in the original series and try to kind of just use that as like world building and stuff as well. So it's like, oh yeah, the Ghastly Grinner, which that's like comic book stuff, and that's the one video I made, and then another one was like the Haunted Mask versus a Haunted Mask, and the reasons why like these two cannot just be compared, because what you find out about this newer one with Disney is this chick is a troll, so that's all she does is troll, 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 and she's like ignored by everybody. And she gets her hands on this mask, and this mask gives her confidence, and now she can do all this other shit. And like when she transforms, it just looks so fucking terrible. And just how they resolved that whole shit was just such a waste of fucking time. Compare that to like Carly Beth, where she's set up as like she's a scaredy cat and she's just sick of being scared, so she wants to start scaring people. And this is where she goes to this like this pop-up shop or some shit where like in the back they have all these like hideous looking masks. And what you kind of find out towards the end that like these are actual people's faces that were like turned into masks and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
But she it's like this it's kind of like attached to Carly Beth every time she puts it on, and it kind of like you'll hear her voice change up and stuff like that. And there's rules to it. Like if you put it on 3 times, like it's gonna be stuck to you. If you put it on 2 times, it's gonna be a little bit harder. It like literally sticks to your skin. And even just the prosthetics of it, it just like looking at that as a kid, that shit scarred a lot of people, and it ended up being one of their best episodes and stuff like that. And
I was about to say that design looks pretty good. That's the '90s version, right? That's
yeah,
not bad. That's not a bad design.
yeah, it's closer to the cover of the book and shit than what we got with Disney did and shit.
Right.
Terrence, I thought you fucking retired. You told me this like a while ago that you were like done. So that's why I was like, you know what, I'm gonna leave him alone. But next time, I'll let you. I'll send you a link and whatnot. But
True.
it's funny. But yeah, I was just really disappointed in that, and like they picked a lot of other books that I just don't give a fuck about. I am curious to see what they're going to do with Slappy. That's Slappy the Living Dummy. That doesn't. His design doesn't look too bad,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't trust Disney at the same time. But it's just like you put a lot more effort into that than this shit. And they have a part 2 of the original '90s one where one of the bullies that were bullying Carly Beth gets his hands on a different mask. That this mask, instead of like changing your whole personality and making you act like kind of mine, it just turns you old and shit. Like you just become
Right.
like he just becomes like an old man, like he's really slow and shit. Like It's still better than this shit though. Like that's all I'll say. It's weaker than part one, but it's not the worst thing because like it used to be like the worst until this shit came out, and I have so many ideas that I want to do for like a haunted mask. I've been thinking about this and writing down ideas since like 2019, off and
Right.
on. But like, I just feel like it's such a fascinating story, that you could definitely give it a little bit more edge. But just Disney just dropped the ball. I just put that out there. But yeah, something like Dark Harvest, though, I think you would like that. Going back to the movies because it has that like 60s vibe to it, and like I said, it's like all these young kids trying to hunt down this scarecrow monster, and if they hunt it down and whoever does it wins, their family's like set up for life. They get a fucking nice little red Corvette or something like that. They get to ride off into the sunset. But there's a lot more that's going on. It goes a
Hmm.
little bit deeper than that.
Okay.
Um,
Well, you sold me when you said it's a cross between what'd you say, the Outsiders and
else,
the Hunger Games.
yeah, sort of like that.
Yeah.
Somebody else said like Battle Royale and like Trick or Treat. I was like, yeah, that's pretty accurate too. Um, Yeah, Creep Show. I think I'm on like episode 3 or 4. I'm liking some of the stories compared to like, I don't really remember season 3 that much,
Hmm.
but season 4 is pretty interesting because the first episode you see what's her face that plays Tammy and Juno from the House of Usher. I was like, damn, I didn't expect them to pop up in this. Like, that's kind of convenient. But that was a cool story. But yeah, like I said, I'm almost done now. I'll probably finish that tomorrow or once I wake up from my nap or some shit.
True.
But what you been watching? Other than
Um. Yeah, like I said, I started to follow House of Usher today, and then I did a reaction to a movie called Popcorn from 1991.
yeah, I remember that. That reminds me of like Scream a little bit.
Yeah, yeah,
I feel like
it's
that
like
was
one
like
of
the
the
original
first
Scream.
meta. Yeah, it's like one of the first meta like horror movies, man. You know what? Interesting concept, but man, did that movie drop the ball like in the third act.
Mm,
Like it almost felt like I was watching two different movies because it starts out almost like Nightmare on Elm Streetish, like because the main protagonist girl, she's having these nightmares about this guy coming after her, and he keeps calling her Sarah, and it's like, who the fuck
mm,
is Sarah? That's not even my name. And then
yeah.
like throughout the like first two acts, like you hear his creepy voice. He does little like you never really see him, but you see the stuff that he does. And then when the reveal happens, oh my god, the reveal, yo, this dude looked like a fucking like Batman villain from the 60s, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, I
he
remember that. I put that on the shutter like a while ago. I gotta go watch that again. But
yeah, that shit, like it was on its way to be a B plus, but then when that third act, when it took a nosedive, that shit went right to like a C minus, almost a D.
yeah.
Like he just like like I'm like this couldn't be the same guy from the first half of this movie. Cause
Mm,
that guy in the first half was creepy as shit. And then this guy, he's doing his best Jim Carrey, like the mask type performance. You know,
mm,
like how Jim Carrey was in the mask in the Riddler, in Batman
yeah.
Forever. Yeah, he was like jumping around and laughing and just like he's crazy. I'm like, this dude's a clown. He lost all credibility after that, man. I'm debating whether I'm gonna put this in the video now because Perp, you know me, man. I started falling asleep, bro. My eyes started getting heavy.
Yeah, I
My
feel you.
eyes started getting heavy near the end of the movie, man. I was like, yo, this shit was whack, B. I said I was scared to watch this because like this month for me is like facing my fears of the movies that I was scared to watch as a kid, and Popcorn was one of them. But I'm pretty sure if I watched that back then, man, I'd have been like, yeah,
What
this shit was whack, B.
What's your next one that you're gonna watch?
Trick or Treat. So that's a 1986
Yeah, I remember
slasher
that. That
film.
that
Yeah.
that little kid in that is a bastard, bro. He's a
Okay. Okay.
bastard.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I was scared to watch that because back then I was scared of like the hair bands like Twisted Sister and Kiss
The
and Ozzy
what
Osbourne.
when you watch that, like you'll probably reminiscent like that little kid. He reminds me of the kid that was that kid that Corey Corey was from Halloween Ends was babysitting. Very
Okay.
reminiscent of that. I was just like,
Uh,
man, this kid's a little asshole. But yeah, trick or treat is pretty cool. I still want to
right.
trick or treat too. I feel like they need to hurry up with that. Make a
Oh
trick or
yeah,
treat too.
definitely, definitely. And I'm gonna try to cap off the month with because I'm still kind of shook to watch it, man. But I'm gonna cap the month off with a double feature of Demons and Demons 2.
Oh yeah, you're gonna love that.
I'm saving the
That
best
shit
for
is dope.
last. Yeah.
You're gonna yeah you gonna fuck with that because there's some like it's a really those are some really entertaining movies. I like Demons 2 a little bit more just because of the setting, but
Mm-hmm.
Demons 1 has a lot of like how the demons actually like transform and it's just like practical. I love that shit. That shit was really
Okay.
dope.
Okay.
Really dope. Very violent. You know,
Yeah.
that's a movie they should never touch neither.
Nah, definitely. And I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna watch it in the daytime. I don't care. I'm watching the day. I ain't watching that shit at night.
I like watching certain shit at night because it just gives me that atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Because like where I'm at, like my house is like on this dark ass road. There's like no street lights, but everybody be speeding down
Oh
my
hell
shit. But
no.
and like sometimes it'll be rain. You can hear like some shit smacking and shit. Like you hear a lot of shit outside, and you know, so it's a great atmosphere. Like I feel like I'm in the woods, but I'm really not. But
Right. Hell no, I'll be scared as hell. And I get nightmares real easily too, bro. Like I don't know, my brain is just like wired weird. So like I remember when I watched Terrifier 2 last year, as much as I love that movie, I went home, I'm
you went
like,
to
please don't have a
you
night,
went to
please don't have a nightmare.
you went to the clown cafe and shit. Like
What? Man, I had a dream about that motherfucker, woke up in a cold sweat, but then I said, okay, that means the movie did its job. I wasn't
are,
mad. I wasn't mad. If a movie can give me a nightmare, 2 thumbs up. That means you did your job. You scared the fuck out of me.
it's all good. It's a lot of horror, Tony. It's a lot of horror. I'm keeping up with it as much as I can, just because it's like got a
Mm-hmm.
lot going on right now, but trying to push through it.
Word.
Do you plan on speaking of Terrifier? Do you plan on watching the re-release because they are playing the trailer and they're giving out Terrifier 3 posters and stuff like that
Well,
too.
I gotta check my local AMC. Yeah, if it's playing, I'll go check it out again.
Yeah, Zach was watching. I was watching that with Zach and a few other people and stuff. And his reaction to the bedroom scene was hilarious. Like
Oh, that
I
was his
love
first
people.
time. That was the first time watching.
Yeah, I was like, I love people
Oh,
seeing people's first reactions to the bedroom scene. It's
yeah,
just like
yeah,
that's really like the true test of like how far you're willing to like go. That's like figure out like this separates the boys from the men. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So
I'm nervous to see because I know that scene was a result of trying to top the first movie where you sawed your girl in half.
mhm.
I didn't think they was gonna top that shit, man. Because even watching that first one, I'm like, okay, I know that they're gonna cut away. We're not gonna. Oh no, they're actually showing it. Oh my god, I can see the
Yeah,
ligament.
three is gonna be crazy because like I feel like it's gonna have to be multiple people and it's just like at once type shit.
Yeah, because like, well, what
Like
else could he? What else could he do? Like, okay, he done saw the girl in half. He done scalped the girl, poured bleach and salt on the girl, cut a man's dick off. You know what I'm saying? Your art, your art's done like almost everything you can do to a person. Like, what else can he do to you?
he'll
Like,
figure it out. That's why I said like he's a very you never know what he's gonna do. Like like with a lot of other slashers like Mike he's just gonna try to stab you with a big ass knife and shit like.
mhm. I saw somebody on.
But Art's gonna get creative.
Yeah, I saw somebody on Facebook. They had a Mount Rushmore, right? They said, okay, Mount Rushmore slashes. Of course, they had Fred, Mike, Jason, and they left the fourth spot open. So I had to go to the comments to see what the comments said. And a lot of them said Ghostface, some said Leatherface, some said Pinhead, even though Pinhead doesn't count as a slasher because technically he's not a slasher.
Nah,
Um,
he'll not.
I think Art deserves to be in that conversation, even though he's
Yeah,
still a new character, but he
off
deserves to
his
be in that
kills
conversation.
off his kills alone, bro. It's just like
Right.
it's like those kills are gonna stick with you. I still remember them shits. Like that shit's only 2 years, like a year ago. I remember that shit stuck in my brain. Like I
Yeah.
don't
I
think that
mean,
like nothing like any other even respect to the OGs. Like nothing really tops that bedroom scene.
nah, nah,
That
nah.
was like really pushing the envelope right there because that really pushes people's like morals, and that's why I'd be saying like, how the fuck people are gonna say like Saw X was more gory than fucking Terrifier 2? That's how I know you didn't watch that movie.
Wait, somebody actually said Saw X was scarier than
People were
Terrifier
trying.
2?
People were trying to say that like Saw X is more gorier than fucking
Get
Terrifier
the
2. I was
fuck
like,
out of here. Yo, I had this conversation earlier today. I was on another live stream, and I said, what threw me off about Saw X was that okay, Jigsaw is supposed to be this evil character, right? This evil icon, but
yeah,
yet I'm having sympathy for him. You know what I'm saying? Like the way they executed Saw X is the equivalent of making a movie about Freddy Krueger, making him the victim. You know what I'm saying? Having Freddy get revenge on the motherfuckers that burned him because
yeah,
he didn't really mean to kill those kids. That's what they did to Jigsaw and Saw X. You know,
yeah.
they
It's
took
really
away
weird.
the scare factor with that.
Yeah, it's a really weird decision that they went with that. Even though I get it, but at the same time, it's just like that's why I asked the question that like episodes ago, like, is he really a villain? Like, can I really consider
Right.
like he's not like a traditional villain, but
Yeah.
But
Well,
anyways,
he was a vigilante. You know what I'm saying? It was a vigilante revenge tale, not a horror movie. Like I don't even classify Saw X as a horror movie at all.
yeah, yeah. So pretty much to go segue into the main topic, saying the horror of the real world. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like, and it's funny that we were talking about suburban screams and that dropping, and that talking about a lot of like real life. Maybe some of it was exaggerated. I don't know how much I believe that a lot of that should happen, but it's fascinating. Like episode 2 kind of gave me like Mike Meyer vibes, where that you had this escape killer going back to his town to kill more people and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, that's very up Mike Myers' alley. Or this, I think it was like the third episode. It was like a haunted house. It kind of reminded me of American Horror Story kind of thing.
Mm.
And I just wanted to kind of ask you. I wish I had some more people up in here though, but like I'll just ask you and let anybody in the comments or watching this live, let me know if you've ever had a supernatural experience or some type of weird shit, or of something like a childhood story or just some weird shit happened. Did you ever have any of those type of experiences?
Yeah, I have. Even though medically they try to say that it's not so much a condition, but it's just that there's a medical explanation for it. But I remember I was 17 when this first happened to me, and I went to sleep, and I remember waking up, but I could not move. Like
Mm.
they call it
Sleep
sleep paralysis.
paralysis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they call it sleep paralysis, but nah, man, I felt like I was being held down, and I could feel like I was being held down, and no matter what I did, I could not move. And
Yeah.
it's
I've
almost
had
like
that.
yeah, it's almost like you could feel yourself like drifting away almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that shit's weird because I've had that happen to me before, like a couple of times.
Right.
And they always say that that's like a spirit or some shit like that, where
Mm-hmm.
that black cat shit, whatever. I forget what the fuck it's called, but yeah, that sleep paralysis is no joke because it's like it's really weird because you be up, but you be trying to move up, like you gotta kind
Right.
of force yourself to kind of like get yourself up and whatnot. That stuff is really fucking
Yeah, yeah,
creepy.
and as sometimes I can see shit. I mean, I know I'm gonna sound crazy, but there's been times when that's happened, and I can still kind of see what's going on, and I can see like a shape. I can't tell if it's male, female, or what, but like a shape standing like by the wall. You know what I'm saying? Just standing there, and I can like hear it breathing. I've seen that shit before. You know what I mean? And I'm not the most religious person in the world, but look, I'll bust out in the prayer. Say what you want.
Yeah, yeah,
I'll bust out in the prayer and woke up out of that, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like for me, I don't know if it was necessarily because like there's sometimes I feel like there's something watching me or some shit like that. I always get like an eerie ass feeling. I used to get that a lot because back when I was younger, my hometown, like my movie theater is within walking distance. I can get there in like 3 minutes by
Mm-hmm.
walking, or like 3 5 minutes or something. It's not that long. But sometimes there's two ways you can go. Like where my house was in the backyard, you could just walk up the street, up there, it's still creepy as fuck. But
Mm-hmm.
most people would just take the little the woods, and this woods is not that like it's not that deep, but it's like it kind of it's kind of like, all right, here's my neighborhood, and then across the street is another neighborhood, and that kind of has like this little wooded path. It used to be a lot narrow, like narrow, and
Okay.
then they kind of spaced it out and like cut some of the trees down. That's when the shit looked really creepy, but it still looks kind of creepy back there. But like
Right.
you just walk up there, you can get there a little bit faster. Um, and that was always kind of weird, because there's like a pond there, and you you would go around that pond, and it was just like this little opening. You have to kind of jump over this little bit of like water or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Shit looked straight out of like a Stephen King's movie, like I swear to God. Um, but when it was smaller, like you would usually, because a lot of people ride their bikes, so like you'd get there really like you could get to movies or to the other side of where you need to go. Like everything was in walking distance, pretty much.
Yeah.
But anytime I would walk back, for like I used to take that way all the time. Like even after watching horror movies and stuff like that, I was like, this is probably a bad idea. I should probably take the other way. It's a little bit
Mm-hmm.
long. This is like 2 minutes longer, but I like to just get the fuck home and shit. But sometimes I'll be walking and I'll feel like these cold spots. I don't know if that's has something to do with like the lakes and stuff or what the fuck ever, but that was just like always weird to me. Like it'd be hot sometimes and it just you get these cool you walk into like these cool ass breezes. I don't know if that's like normal or nothing. But
Mm-hmm.
that was kind of weird. And we used to have these little I can't remember it for the life of me, but we used to always tell like these weird ass stories about the woods and just like somebody possibly living in these woods. It's a really small woods, but like when you look at it in like the little stretch of like the stretch of pathway you gotta walk, it looks pretty terrifying at night. I'm not gonna lie. Like the
Right.
whole like the suburbs look weird as fuck at night, bro. It's too fucking quiet sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like where my old house is. It's like where I grew up at. Like it's just one of those traditional like suburban houses that you would see in like a Halloween movie or some shit. Like it has a perfect setting for that. Like it's just mad quiet. The deeper you go around town, like there's some places that look really not as busy. They don't got as many like places to eat and stuff like that. It's like kind of like the outskirts of town,
Right.
but those back roads and stuff like that ain't got like no street lights. I don't be going down that shit because like that's a quick way to get hit by a car or some shit like that. Because like you could barely see anybody out that bitch. But like people used to be in the woods all the time, like going to parties and stuff like that.
Hell no,
Doing more
man.
suburban shit.
Well, look, let me ask you: you ever heard stories about like spirits being in like a house or whatever? Like, cause my grandmother's old house, I never experienced it, but I was told stories by some of my family members that would stay with her. That at night they would hear like footsteps and shit, and
Mm,
don't nobody be walking around.
yeah,
You
fuck
know what I'm
that.
saying? Yeah, yeah. Like it's crazy. And because I had a cousin that stayed with her for a minute, and he was like, "Oh hell no, I ain't staying at mama house no more. She got spirits up in there."
Yeah, my boy would tell me about that. Like he used to go to he used to go to this one house. I forget exactly. I gotta paraphrase, but he would always say like he used to see a dude in like a top hat and shit. I was like, nah, that's
Right.
nah, fuck all that noise, bro. Get about here. That's what pissed me off about one of these stories in Suburban Screams. Is I was like, because I was watching, I was like, yo, where are the black folk in here? Because I know there's black people that live in the suburbs, and of
Right.
course they have one that's like that's kind of based around uh this house that was built off this land that this old racist ass dude from like the 1600s or some shit. He's like declared this is my land and shit. And
Right.
she just playing dumb. She's like, I don't know what the hell's going on. Like the mom, her like which is the grandma, she already peeped out from gut go. She's like, yo, there's some bad energy here, and she was just ignoring that shit until shit got really bad. Like the husband started getting sick, and started acting out a character. I was like, that's the sign to get the fuck up out of here. Because she's like, she's like, I got two options: to live in my SUV or live in this house. I'm like, bro, I take my chances the SUV, get the fuck up out of here. Like,
Wait, so that kind of reminds me of like kind of like Poltergeist 2 when the dad was getting like he was bugging out. And come to find out he had drunk that worm. You ever see Poltergeist 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, remember
Not in a while, but
when he drunk that worm looking thing, and it started making him crazy, and then eventually it came up out of him. It was like a slimy ass like demon looking thing.
That's nasty. Yeah, that's just crazy though. Like, you know, people that you hear people that got these stories. Like another story that they said they were talking about is the Rabbit Man. Which when I saw the design, I was like, I definitely seen movies based off of this. I didn't know this was like a real thing. It's kind of like an urban legend in this certain place in like Virginia and stuff.
Right.
And that's just pretty creepy as well. Like, you know, certain urban legends you would hear in like certain small towns or areas and stuff like that.
Yeah, you know what else? Another urban legend wouldn't. I don't know if it's really an urban legend, but I know back in the day, my father said he knew a lot of people that did like not witchcraft, but they would put like roots. You know what I'm saying? Like they try to put a root on you. You know, like they put like little curses on you, and he would tell me some of them shits would actually happen. Like if you pissed off the wrong woman, she'll put a root on your ass, and next thing you know, like the hands done shrunk, or you know what I'm saying, the hair done fell out. You know, it actually this is a true story. My mom dated this older dude, man. He was like a really old guy, and he believed in that shit, right? So he suspected that my mom's was cheating on him. So he waited until she left, and he took like this white powder stuff, bro, and he put it in small pieces of aluminum foil and placed it all around the house, right? Like out of sight, so we couldn't see it. So my mom came home and she said, "Hey, what's this?" Caught him in the act, right? And the only thing he could say was, "Oh, I put that down to keep the niggas out of here." My mom said, "Oh, brother, you got to go," and she kicked him out, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He was gone. I was mad too, man, because look, shit, that he was loaded with money. Like that was my mom's sugar daddy, boy. We Toys R Us every weekend and all that stuff. But yeah, he said he put that down to keep the niggas out. My mom kicked his ass right out.
Yeah, it's just crazy though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I've never like I know like I've always believed in the spirits and ghosts and shit because it's like that's all we are is energy. So it's like we can't just disappear and just be nothing. Like, especially if you're like an angry spirit and you die somewhere, like you could definitely feel that energy, or you can go to a place and just be like, yo, something's off about this.
Right.
Like something don't feel right in my gut. And like, you know, I gotta get out of here. Or sometimes it'll be a good spirit, just be like, you know, and people are definitely people that have passed that are like your relatives and stuff like that. Could probably be definitely looking out for you and stuff like that. So
I believe it because ask yourself the question, like if you've seen somebody like on their way out, right, like that's about to die or whatever. It's funny how they can always see the ones that passed before them. You know what I'm saying? Like you have an old person that's about to die, and they start naming off like relatives that passed away like 20 years ago. And you're like, wait a minute, you actually see Uncle Jesse? To my I see Uncle. Yeah, he's right there. Hey, Uncle Jesse died 20 years ago. Like, how do you see him? Because he's transitioning to the other side, and he can actually see those that passed over. It's eerie. It's strange as hell, but I believe it though, because I've seen it a few times with some relatives that passed, and they naming off old relatives. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my mom was telling me that like her uncle before he passed, he predicted exactly when I was going to be born, type shit. Like, which is very odd. But it's crazy. Like when you're and there's just so many like situations that I've been in. It's just like, damn, man, I shouldn't even be here, type shit. Like, and a lot of people have those like near death experiences and just still don't believe that it can't be nothing out there, or you know, certain energy. And so it's just like it's just how the saying goes, like the energy you put out there is what you're gonna get back. And you know, say a lot of people that put out a lot of negative energy, that's all you're gonna get back. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes yeah, some people gotta get off that bullshit, and you know, so people that are just obsessed with death, like you gonna end up being behind that death, and
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you just definitely gotta move accordingly, stuff
Right.
definitely to kind of keep that bad mojo and stuff like that.
And that's why I said, look, I don't invite no negative energy, man. If you come with that, get the fuck away from me.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Especially at this point in my life, man. Like I don't want nothing negative
Yeah,
around me, man, any way, shape, or form.
yeah. Just want to live your life and
Right.
get old and pass away peacefully.
Exactly. Exactly. I
Yeah,
mean,
cause
I was on that at one time though. You know, there was a time in my life where this is back during the golden age of gangster rap and shit. Trying to be hard and yeah, man. Inviting that hard lifestyle. I was like, ah, fuck all that. That shit's corny.
yeah, a lot of that shit's dark too. Like a lot of the music we listen to and stuff. But there was one thing that happened. I was young when this happened around my hometown and some shit. Like this guy went on like kind of like a killing spree. I think he killed like two or three people.
Oh wow.
I forget, but I think he ended up dead or some shit. He like ended
Damn.
up stabbing some old lady in the woods or some shit like that.
Whew.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like even like just hearing about serial killers and stuff like that. You never like nobody really gets like jumpy about it because it's like unless it happens close to home and stuff where
Right.
that like bringing up the suburban screams again, like that was another one where like this town was like terrified where it's just like they never experienced murder and stuff like that. And so this guy started coming around and people were just living in fear of like just what I'm saying, of him coming back or escaping from prison again. And what I'm saying, it's really eerie stuff though. It's just like
Yeah, well, shit. Well, speaking of the horror of the real world, man. Like doing what I do for a living. I do food delivery like Uber Eats and DoorDash and all that. And I don't know if you heard this story, man, but this happened about a year or so ago where a DoorDash driver went to deliver an order, and I guess he was on the phone with his wife and saying that okay, this is my last one for the night, and I'm coming home. It was a late night delivery, and he never
he
came
fucked
home.
up. Yeah, he
Yeah,
fucked
he
up
never.
with it.
Yeah, he never came home. So of course the wife they was able to track him down from from the cell phone. They tracked him down to the house and come to find out it was a former ex felon that they let out of jail. Like he was on house arrest, and so he had ordered some food. And then when the guy came, he came from behind the guy and knocked him out. And then like they said they found his body parts all over the house. So the guy brought him inside, killed him, chopped him up and place his body
That's
parts like all
terrible.
over it. Yeah.
I'd haunt the fuck out that motherfucker. Like
What? Like and
that
that,
shit's crazy. That like, cause like that, you see that shit happen all the time in like horror movies, like the delivery drivers and some
right.
shit. Like they'll be the casualties and stuff like that. Cause that
Yeah.
stuff happens, man. Like recently, like I think like close to one of my jobs, so there was somebody like randomly just like he randomly got beat the fuck up and shit, and like they robbed him for like a little bit of money or some shit like that. I don't know if he
Hmm.
lived or died. I think he died. I don't know, or but he just got
Yeah.
beat up pretty bad. Like it's shit like that like that could happen to anybody.
Oh yeah, look, I ain't gonna lie. Like when I heard that story, man, it fucked me up. I mean, because I deliver at night. You know what I'm saying? That's when I make the most money at nighttime. And sometimes, bro, I'll be delivering to some creepy ass places, man. Like one time I delivered to a place. It was right by the damn cemetery. And
Yeah, fuck
I ain't bullshitting either, man. It was like fog and like it looked like Thriller. It looked like the Thriller video.
that.
You know, it is like, yeah, bring it to the front door. Shit. I'm putting that motherfucker right
You can
here.
come to my door, man.
You
It's
can come
like
to my door. What, man? After that story, perp, I got paranoid, man. I'll get out the car. I'll pay attention to my surroundings. I look all around me, make sure nobody's behind me, to the side of me. I'll hurry up, drop that bag right by the door, and keep on kicking.
Like when I used to do deliveries and stuff, like I've delivered to people that live right like in front of cemeteries. It's like, bro, why the fuck would you live here?
Yeah. Hell no,
I don't
man.
want to be nowhere near a cemetery. Like even though like sometimes there'll be big ass cemeteries, and then like across the street is like a stretch of like
Right.
different houses across the street from it, so they got no real choice. But that's still creepy as
Yeah.
fuck.
Look, I'll be afraid of that and dogs too. Like, because some people be careless and they flip and
Yeah,
let their dog. I had a couple of dogs come at me, man. And
Yeah, like sometimes I'll be like, you walk up to a house and like you don't even know the dog's like right around the corner. It'll just be, whoop, 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 whoop. I was like, oh,
yeah.
bro,
Yeah, wait,
scared the fuck out of
did
me.
you see the one? Did you see the one where the DoorDash driver came to the door and the dog crashed through the fucking like it was like a glass door and the dog crashed through the glass and the
That's
driver
just
took off
crazy.
running? It was
That's
one
just
of them big
crazy.
ass. It was a big ass. What's some dogs, man? Not a pit bull like them big motherfuckers. A mastiff, I think they called, right? Um,
Something like that. But
a
my
mastiff.
my
Yeah.
my yeah, my roommate's got a big ass dog. That shit just be barking, bro. He be barking at nothing. That should be annoying as fuck. I'm like, bro, ain't nobody here. You know who's in the house? Like, fuck you,
but
but
hey,
it'd be quiet as fuck. He just be barking. It's just annoying.
But you know what? But you know what? That's a benefit to y'all because the average person walking by will think twice about coming up in that motherfucker if they hear it. You
He ain't
know.
gonna do shit. He ain't gonna do. I swear, he just all bark, bro. He not gonna do shit. He
But
likes
shit, we
to
don't.
growl. He likes to growl at me. I've noticed that. I was like, bro, he like to growl at black people. I don't know. I don't like that shit.
But shit, he likes dark meat. But look, we don't know that though. Look, if I happen to walk by and I hear that dog, even though you know he ain't gonna do nothing, but I don't know that. All I hear is that bass, and I hear that
Mm,
bass in your voice. I'm out. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I just still
Yeah.
don't understand like the whole, animals in the house thing. I still don't get that shit. But that shit,
Oh shit.
it's
Yeah, it's
like
weird stuff.
even like when my nephew was first born and stuff. Like I'd rather deal with the crying because at least that's gonna stop. But like you only
Mm-hmm.
gotta pull up for that for like 2 years.
Yeah, right.
Well,
I mean, but you got to train the dog too. You know, it's all in how you train the dog. Like, you can train your dog not to bark like that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But it depends because certain breeds, like a pit bull, it takes a special kind of person to raise a pit bull. You know what I'm saying? You can't be soft and timid with a pit bull. You have to be like really stern because a pit will try you. You know what I'm saying? Even though you're the master, they'll try
yeah.
you every now and then
We
just to see who's the alpha of the house. You know
the
what I mean?
dog that they got before this like was trying to kill the fucking cat that we have and shit. Like
Oh
that
shit!
was the issue. We had to get rid of that shit.
Yeah.
He bark. He's another one that barks like he bark like a pussy, man. He like "Hur, hur," and then it just turned into he just bark like a pussy. Like he just this shit was crazy. But
Oh
um,
shoot.
but yeah, that shit. Nah, fuck that, man. I I was just like, bro, so many people got fucking dogs. I'm like, man, they just be barking. I just can't do that shit. Just
Mm-hmm.
you know, um, and that's a they can still make horror movies out of that too, like because there are people that are afraid. Like I'm not the biggest fan of dogs. Like I was definitely traumatized as a kid because I was like 3 years old or something like that. Uh, my aunt's dog, it was like a Rottweiler, some shit. He
Mm.
dead now, but he jumped on me and shit like that. Just
Oh
never was
wow.
the same after since. But like I'm cool with dogs now. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like the jaws that be jumping on me and shit like that. Like
Right, right.
don't be
Yeah.
jumping on me.
Nah, yeah, I feel you, man. Shit, I got bit by a damn toothless German Shepherd one time, man. I promise you that the nigga had no teeth, man, but I still felt but his bite force was still very strong. I still felt it. You know what I mean?
I imagine if he had teeth, that shit, your arm would
Ooh,
probably gone.
he'd have fucked me
Cause
up, man.
that's the thing about like some of these dogs. It'd be like they get a hold of your arm, they're not gonna let go and shit.
Oh yeah,
Even if you
oh
punch them
yeah.
in the face and all that shit, like
Shit. No, wait. No, when's the last time they made a horror movie about a killer dog? Because the first ones come to mind is like Cujo and Man's Best Friend, and there was a
they,
movie in the '70s called Dogs. But yeah, there's not a whole lot of movies about killer dogs though.
yeah, they could definitely make a Cujo. Well, they'll probably make him CGI and shit like that. Some terrible shit.
Well, shit, I didn't realize that I guess some versions of him in the movie he was played by an actual dude. It was a dude in a dog suit.
Yeah, that's just weird. That reminded me of that shit. Like the dude that like I don't know if you've seen that in Japan. He
Yeah.
actually like he turned
Mhm.
himself into a dog. Like that's just fucking
That's
weird.
eerie. Yeah, it's eerie as shit. Yeah.
Now that's a horror movie for your ass right there. Like
Yeah, because I think he paid like thousands of dollars for a custom made dog suit. He actually walks around like a dog and had people pet him and shit. It was weird to watch.
that's some serious mental health, bro. Like there's some serious mental health going on around here. It's just normal. Like it's crazy. That's
Oh
fucking
shoot.
wild. Don't be
Yeah,
walking around. Nah, I'll kick the fuck out you. Be like, you're not a real dog, bro. Beat the fuck out you.
yeah. Nah, but I ain't gonna lie. When I saw Cujo, yeah, Cujo messed me up. I was scared of Saint Bernards after watching Cujo, man. That was a big ass dog. And even man's best friend now. Man's best friend actually, Max was actually cool because he was a cyborg. Remember, he was
Mm,
like they like experimented on him in the lab and stuff. So he was invisible. He can like
yeah.
climb trees and shit. Like he was he had like the speed of a cheetah. Like
Hmm.
he was like the Terminator, but in a Rottweiler version.
Yeah, that's just crazy. And some people that had like they own wolves. I was like, bro, like
Hmm.
white people are crazy.
Yeah. Oh, you'd be
Like,
surprised. I live here in the South, bro. You'd be surprised the pets that some of these motherfuckers had. I delivered to one person. They had a pet possum in the grass, just playing with the damn possum. I
that's just
swear,
fucking crazy.
it was a dog. It was on his back. They was rubbing his belly, and are you afraid of possums? I'm like, yeah. Tell me, well, they're more afraid of you than you are of them. Come on, you can
Fuck,
pet him.
fuck out of
He's a little teddy
here.
bear. I said,
Yeah,
man,
it's like
I
bite
said,
me.
what? I said, take your order, man. I'm out. I put that shit right in the
Yeah,
grass and
I'm like,
walked
what the
away.
fuck going on here? And even
Yeah.
with like cats are fucking weird too. Like, sometimes I'll be walk like 'cause I got a cat and shit. Like, not mine, but it's one of my
Yeah.
roommates. And like, how their fucking eyes reflect and shit. That shit be scaring the fuck out of me. I'm like, bro. Or like this cat will always just like there's just like a little hallway and shit like that, and
Hmm.
it'll always be just running, like trying to scare me or some shit, or try to take me out,
Right.
try to kill my ass or some shit. It's
Well,
fucking
the
weird.
only benefit that a cat has over a dog is that cats are more independent. You know what I'm saying? Like dogs, like really latch onto you and depend on you, like for everything. And a cat, look, with a cat, all you gotta do is feed it. You know what I'm saying?
And if
And
you got
after that,
rats, they'll handle that for you.
and that too, for sure.
Yeah, that's just crazy though. Like there's just a lot of scary shit in the real world. Like we watch horror movies and stuff like that, but a lot of that stuff can happen to actual people. Like
Oh
like
yeah,
just people like you explain like how you broke it down. Like dude just was doing his job and all of a sudden he chopped up.
yeah,
He
yeah.
all in the he's all in the fridge like Jeffrey Dahmer meal, Happy Meal,
Right,
some shit like
right. Right, that's scary, man. And just imagine the wife. Like the last time you talked to him, he's like, "Okay, I'm dropping my last order off, and I'll be home," and never came home. You know what I'm
should have learned
saying?
he should have learned the rules of horror movies. Like you didn't watch Scream,
Never say I'll
I'll
be
be
right
right
back.
back. Ain't coming back, like you ain't coming back.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, yeah, I watched that. What's that? Totally Killer. I still got to finish it though. I haven't finished it yet. But I said
Yeah.
it was a cute little, flashy
I
comedy. You
watched it.
know what I'm
I
saying?
watched it twice already. I was like, yeah, there's a lot of potential for a sequel because it's like it definitely left it open to like because like a lot of things got altered,
Right.
and you still got the old boy. He's still out there, so just the alternate version of him.
Okay,
Because
but
like the way to do is talking like I'm like an infinite Michael Myers and stuff like I can never die, so he can definitely come back.
oh, but there's no subtlety at all though, as far as like them biting off of Back to the Future. Like they let you know, like yeah, this
Yeah.
is we're biting off of Back to the Future.
But
Like
it's funny
damn,
how they do it though. They do it in a tasteful way where it's just like, yeah, time travel movies don't make any fucking sense. Like,
right, right, right. Yeah, I
but
think
I feel
I
like,
still got about 15 minutes left of it though. But I had to go to work. That's why I didn't finish it. But yeah, it was cute.
yeah, I think like that's something I would have saw in the theaters. Like, I thought that because like the humor is really funny too. It reminds me
Mhm.
like it's very like Mean Girls esque, but
Right.
also like kind of I like just the fact that you will have the '80s kind of humor clashing with the Gen Z like modern day stuff, and like them
Hmm.
making fun of each other or just like calling out each other's like, what I'm saying, like her mom being like the bully and stuff like that, and that shit was funny.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that's good enough for tonight. I'm just fucking beat, so I'm
Yeah.
saying this is a cool talk. 2 episodes left. Definitely if you're checking out the replay, um, hit that like button, share,
So
comment.
what's next week's topic?
The history of horror.
Ooh, history, my favorite.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, all these titles I came up with was like completely random. I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna wing it. See how it goes. You know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
yeah,
We got
that's gonna be a fun one. There's definitely some good history, but it's funny because I'm always on the side of the '80s and the '90s. Like, yeah, man, movies now can't touch those movies then. But yeah, after watching Popcorn, I said, you know what? Yeah, unfortunately, there were some duds at the time.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if a lot of those, well, I'll say that for next week. But
Yeah.
let the people know what you got going. What you got going. As far as
Well, I'm still editing my popcorn reaction, so I should be dropping that tomorrow, and then Monday I plan on dropping my review for New Nightmare. I'm
mm,
collabing with Darnell from Rejected Heroes Media. So yeah, we're gonna be collabing for New Nightmare, then Freddy's Dead. Not Freddy's Dead, but Freddy versus Jason after that. So that's gonna
word.
cap off our Elm Street series. And I might do a review for Fall of the House of Usher when I finish it. I still got what um 4 episodes left. So I'll probably drop a review
Mm,
for that as well. And that's about it so far.
yeah, I'll be
Oh,
looking
and then
forward
and
to
then
that.
then Trick or Treat be dropping next week
Okay.
also. Yeah.
All right. Yep. So it's been Friday. It was Friday the 13th yesterday. Happy belated Friday the 13th. Everybody that celebrates. Shouts to Jason. Shouts to the chat. Shouts to people that pulled up or going to watch this back later. But yeah, we're gonna get out of here. I'll see y'all on the next one.
Peace.